can't lose.
No, we can't lose.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Gambling gods, fickle bunch.
Oh, yeah.
So easily
We
affected.
have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9, place 9. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
They bet on absolutely anything. Don't make them prove.
Forget everything I said. Do whatever the hell you want. Have a good time. Who gives a shit? That's what it's all about.
You're tuned in to Gambling with Good JuJu.
Welcome in, everybody, to Gambling with Good JuJu. The show that's hotter than the Strip in Vegas in August and cooler than Fremont Street under the canopy. Hey, before we kick things off, do us a favor and head on over to YouTube and click that subscribe button for us. If video ain't yo thing, then give us a like, follow, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Want to chat us up? We can be found on the social medias at Good JuJu Bets. And if you really like us, then head on over to goodjujubets.net, click on the merch shop, and show your support. Shout out, by the way, do you want to do the shout outs? You want me to do the shout outs?
Dude,
I put that in there.
You've been dropping ask people to, after they buy the merch, send in some pictures. So we got some really good ones.
Oh, yeah.
So shout out Eric Downs 52. Had a nice slot machine photo for sure.
Beautiful.
Calculated Degen. I think he was at like a little wedding, golf course, casino weekend. So he was rocking a Good JuJu. Appreciate that. Then, of course, Tim from the Better Life. He was wearing the hat at the 360 Vegas vacation, I believe.
Tim, always. We had his former host now, right? The Double Chance. Check out the Double Chance podcast.
I'm pretty sure that he won a lot of money too in Vegas. So probably
dude, 3 hand pays?
Yeah. Right.
And one machine?
Yeah. One machine. Yeah. Then, of course, shout out Turd Ferguson for rocking the hat in the home run parlay video.
He's always doing well by us. Thank you, Turd.
He's got to hit one of those parlays.
Grant Neefer. All right. Anyways. This week, we're getting hyped for our adventures in Vegas next month. And to help us do that, we've brought on the man, the myth, the legend, Spanky, to discuss all things BetBash, as well as a couple other topics that pique our pickles. Spanky is not only one of the most respected professional sports bettors around, he is also the founder and chief architect of the only conference I've actually been excited to attend, BetBash. If you're interested in learning more about BetBash yourself, you can find all the details for it at betbash.co. Spanky, welcome back to the show.
Pete, Ryan, thanks so much for having me back. It's all about Good JuJu, and you guys bring it all the time, and I'm so happy to be part of this.
And we are excited to be coming out again this year. We love BetBash. We love seeing all the people there that we've managed to build a community around who attend there. Folks like yourselves, other content creators in the space, professional bettors we interact with. Yeah. It really is just a great atmosphere that you put on every year.
Listen, guys, thanks so much. That means a lot. I know you guys came your first time last year, and to tell me that you're coming back is music to my ears. So that's I appreciate that.
Fantastic. All right. To kick things off here, we had you on last year and you did a wonderful job giving all the deets to get us prepared for our first trip out to BetBash. But for those who might have missed that episode, can you give us an overview what BetBash is and why it's the must-attend conference for all walks of life within the sports betting landscape?
Yeah, so BetBash is a sports gambling networking conference focused on the bettor. It's a 4-pronged approach. We focus on networking, education, legends, and fun. This is going to be our 5th year running BetBash. And I think in any walk of life, there's so many conferences and so many different things. But I think sports betting is one of those things in which you kind of learn from others. When I was coming up over 25 years ago, I had to learn, and I wish there was a conference like BetBash at the time where I could interact with fellow sports bettors. I had to rely on the sports betting forums back in the day, like Major Wager, the RX, Bettors World, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there wasn't something like this, and people were kind enough to help me out and to educate me, and I think it's nice to be able to do the same for others. Where, listen, I'm not just teaching people, but I'm learning something new every year at BetBash. The minute you think you can't learn and you're done learning is the minute you start slipping. We don't want to slip. We want to, stay on top of what we do. So, yeah, BetBash is if you want to become a better, if you want to make friends, if you want to connect, create synergies, if you want to have a good time with our 4 open bars, and if you want to see some legends walking around and interact with the legends, and if you want to have a great time in fabulous Las Vegas, BetBash is where it's at.
Sold.
And one of the things I was kind of surprised by, I thought, was you don't have to be a professional gambler to get your money's worth.
Oh, for sure.
Sports better. I mean, all walks. If you have an interest in it as a hobby, if you have interest in it as a pro, if you have interest in it just in a casual capacity, everyone's so friendly and nice. And like, even for RJ and I, we're more hobbyists in the world of sports betting. We like talking about it. We love living it. We love being around it.
Yeah.
It was wonderful for us. So kudos to that. You really create a welcoming space there for that regard.
For sure.
That means so much to me, guys. That's our intention, but you never know how it comes across. We send out a survey every year, and it's always positive. And most of the people that fill out surveys have something negative to say. So we do have an overwhelmingly positive survey results, but to hear it from your mouths as first timers, and as coming from that part of it, it really means the world to me that you guys say that. So thank you for that.
I mean, and you might just end up with a full article in the Chicago Sun-Times as a result.
That was awesome.
Shout out our guy, Rob Meach.
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
soon.
That was wonderful. We'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So when you released the seminar schedule, Juice and I sat down and spent an episode talking through what we were most excited to catch during the conference. Now, I'm sure you're excited for each of the seminars, but were there 1 to 2 that you were particularly pumped to get on the agenda this year?
No, I wasn't. I'm not going to say what I'm pumped about or what I'm not, because then people are going to come and say, Spank, how come you weren't pumped about my seminar? I can't do that. That's like saying you have a favorite child and you just can't do it. Oh, I love all my kids the same. We think all the seminars are great. What I will say is that, Pete, is when we design these seminars, we have to think on how to be able to put an interest out there for every type of gambler, from the novice to the professional, and everybody in between. And I kind of look back and I say, if I was starting out sports betting, what would I want to watch? What seminar would I want to attend? If I'm maybe a year in, 2 years in, 5 years in, 10 years in, and now, I'm over 25 years in, what would interest me the most? And then I also thinking about, what if I just felt like drinking? I drank too much the night before and I wanted to just go have a good time. Maybe I don't want to learn anything. I just want to have a few laughs. So I wanted to put something of that in there. There's podcasts there where, my man Matt Landis has a podcast where he's going to be doing beer tasting. We have a seminar that's wine tasting. And that's the last, obviously the last seminar of the day are beer tasting and wine tasting respectively on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm always thinking about having a good time, putting an entertaining lineup out there, people that are serious and educational lineup. You want to listen to the legends tell stories and go, oh my God, this is incredible. You could do that. I'm trying to put a little bit of everything out there. 30 unique pieces of content, not an easy task. A lot of planning involved, a lot of phone calls, a lot of missed calls, a lot of voicemails, a lot of texts, a lot of back and forth. But we finally got it to work, and we're proud of the schedule. And by the early, and not even early now, by all the registration numbers, every single seminar has gotten some love. And that's what, I know I did a good job and my staff did a good job when there's at least one body in that room watching a speaker, because that means I was able to scratch that itch for that attendee, and that attendee had 5 different options at that hour slot and decided to go give seminar X a chance instead of the other 4 seminars. So I think I did a good job. The biggest fear I have, guys, is having a seminar with the speaker standing there and he's talking to nobody, and it's an empty room, and that's the scary shit. Like, damn, so I'm so happy that didn't happen, and there's a lot to choose from. And I loved your episode, guys. I listened to it where you kind of went over your schedule on what you guys were looking at, and that's great. Everybody's BetBash is going to be completely different, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. Like, you do such a great job getting such a unique program together. It's hard to choose, and that it's hard to choose sometimes.
Yeah, we did feel that.
And we want that. That's our goal. We want people to have tough decisions.
Yeah.
We want you to make tough decisions because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to be in 5 places at one time, and it makes people want to come back. At the end, we are running a conference. We're trying to earn, so we want people to, hey, listen, I missed the gambling and the law seminar last year. Then maybe I'll catch it next year, stuff like that. So I'm just. We want to make it tough, and it all depends on what the mood is. You might have something slotted, and you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling that today. Maybe I'll go see this. So that's what makes it cool.
That's awesome. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you've created a little bit of a longer gap in between the seminars, correct, this year?
No, it's the same. It's the same exact gap, an hour gap.
Yeah. Okay.
Between
Fantastic.
each seminar.
Boy, that hour must go fast because we were both looking at each other thinking you did it. And I was like, great, we need more time in between them. So never mind then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hour gap is there to show our sponsors love in the conference area outside in the hallway. We got a nice donut wall out there. We're going to have some food scattered around, some snacks and stuff like that. And if people want to go break to have a lunch or if they want to go grab a drink or if they want to just go relax, take a nap, go, do whatever.
Yeah.
We have that option. We don't want to bang, bang, bang. We kind of wanted to have that nice break in between all of our seminars to give people a chance to just figure stuff out along the way.
Yeah. The reason I think it's so great, and I do remember this now based on last year, but I always found it fascinating. I remember getting the opportunity to talk with David Hill after he gave his presentation last year, and just that the presenters kind of made themselves available at the end of each of the seminars for folks who had any follow-up questions, just wanted to say thank you or just say hi to them. I thought that was wonderful as well. So you do get a little bit of that one-on-one time in between those seminars to have that interaction with the hosts of each seminar as well.
For sure.
So.
And thank you for bringing up the donut wall. That was my number one question, was whether or not we'd have a donut wall this year.
So my buddy Fats would not allow BetBash to take place if that donut wall wasn't there.
Shout out Fats.
He had a field day with that. That donut wall will be a permanent staple of BetBash.
Fantastic.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, when you're talking about the value, I feel like I ate $500 alone worth of donuts. So I think it's good stuff.
Also, shout out Fat's Twitter account. Taking down McDonald's via Twitter is something that we've been highly entertained by.
There is nobody safe when the fat man sinks his teeth into you, he just won't let go, and that's just how it is. But
we'll stay on this good thing.
We get those donuts, RJ, from across the street at Pinkbox Donuts. Catered, and dude, those are just it's unbelievable.
Shout out Pinkbox.
I gotta shout out Pinkbox Donuts, and man, it's really good. And sometimes all you need is that pick me up.
Yep.
You know what I mean, to get you through the rest of the day. So
yeah,
I never thought I'd eat more donuts than when we stayed at the Plaza. Until I went to BetBash. All right. Now, I know you're still working on the setup for the panels. Is there anything you can tell us about what to expect from those this year?
Yeah, so we have 2 panels set up right now. We're trying to get a keynote speaker, but we don't know if we're going to get that. But right now, there's 2 panels. One of them is going to be based on exchanges and sweepstakes. And the other one is going to be based on prediction markets, a legal analysis. So we're essentially going to have the same exact lawyers that are fighting in courts over these prediction markets are going to be at BetBash, and they're going to be having that nice debate on the stage in front of that live audience. So that should be something pretty cool to watch. It's kind of like courtroom drama outside the courtroom.
That's great.
And this is important stuff that'll affect the future of the industry.
For sure.
When you think what makes it into the panel realm and what stays in a seminar, we kind of want to make it so niche, so specific, that you really have to want to be into something like that to go into it. And the panels, we kind of want to make it, this impacts the entire industry. And this is something that everybody should listen to and everybody should hear. So that's kind of how we distinguish between the 2.
Yeah. I don't even know that prediction markets were really cracking last year at BetBash. I don't think they definitely didn't have sports for sure.
Yeah, that just happened in
just a couple
December?
months ago.
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah, that just recently happened. Yep.
Yeah.
Are you
Yep.
finding yourself leveraging them at this point, Spanky?
My guys, I don't know if my guys have dabbled. You know, baseball's kind of slow for us, but once football starts, no doubt. You know what I mean? Listen, I always tell everybody this: like, I don't care who it is. If I can bet a significant amount of money and guaranteed that I get paid if I win, it doesn't matter if it's a prediction market, a sweeps, a sports book. You could have the guy in the corner down the street with a cigar in his mouth. I don't give a who it is. I just want to get paid, and I want to get it. And get a good limit, and that's it. So to me, and there's no, the more options, the better, obviously, because as you guys know, line shopping is everything. So I'd love to be able to shop more and more, and no matter what the alternative is.
Right on. All right. So Spanky, let me paint the picture here for you a little bit. Last year, I'm at BetBash. I'm taking it all in, right? I go to the ups and downs of a professional bettor, and then I go to you and Chinese Mike doing the betting partnership seminar, right? Super motivating stuff. So this year at Speed Networking, I've totally geared my profile for betting partnerships. What should I be ready to answer when trying to find a good match?
Well, I think the first thing, as you guys know, the speed networking is a 5-minute, just for the listeners that don't know what the speed networking is. Speed networking is 15 5-minute meetings. It's like taken from speed dating where you have 15 5-minute dates. Here you have 15 5-minute meetings where each person talks for a little bit, and then if you want to take it later on and follow up, that's what you do. You fill out a form, 2 questions, and then based on the answers to that form, you get paired up optimally with the algorithm that's created by speednetworking.com. My man Mike Slater runs that company. So honestly, RJ, I don't know what you're with the betting partnerships. The one advice I would give to everybody, generic advice, is make sure you have something to talk about, and make sure you have your contact info readily available, and make sure you have throat lozenges. Because, dude, it's like without fail, I lose my voice every BetBash, like all the time. And I don't know what it is. I try everything. And, Vocal Zone is my buddy Matt Landis told me about that. That's something I would recommend to just make sure that you're, nice and lubricated, because you just don't realize, I don't talk as much until when I'm at BetBash, and I realize that as my voice goes hoarse after the first day. So that's something I would definitely recommend for everybody. And also take it slow. You know what I mean? I always tell everybody's trying to get hammered every night. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Those open bars get tempting. I know you guys were hanging out, having a good time. And you got to just take it nice and easy. Because you don't want to, the last thing you want to do is have a hangover, wake up the next morning with a headache. And then, you know what I mean? That's not, you got to take it slow.
If I was specifically trying to get bets down for somebody, right? What should I be ready to answer in those types of speed networking?
So the questions you're going to ask, if you're trying to get down bets, they're going to ask you, how much can you get down? How are you getting down? Are these outs guaranteed? Is the bookmaker honorable? What kind of piece would you like to have?
Yeah.
Are we 50-50 partners, or you want a free roll, or you want to risk money? A free roll is if you don't want to have any risk, but you want to take less of a percentage. If you want to risk some money, then you'd be a partner. And, for most of the syndicates that are at BetBash, the most important thing is how much can you get down, how fast can you get down, and how long will the accounts last, which is very important. And I think that's something I would ask, in which, are you going to, anybody that, if you could get bets down for somebody, ask them, is your stuff going to make me lose my account, or do you think I could last longer? Is your stuff moving the market? Is it moving the screen? Are lines moving when you're betting? Which is an indicator of winning bets. However, it's also a telltale sign for the bookmaker to wish you farewell and say goodbye. We don't want your action anymore. And that account could be cooked. And a lot of people, so there's a give and take there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the approach that I would go for if I was in your shoes.
Right on. Any red flags I should be on the lookout for?
Any red flags? I think the people that are aggressive, that follow up, those are the ones I would kind of be weary of. They seem kind of desperate. If you're coming there and you're saying I have accounts, you're like the belle of the ball. everybody's going to think that you're the pretty girl that just walked into the room, and these are all these guys that are just drooling over you, saying, "Hey, I want you to work with me. Don't work with that guy." That's another thing. If there's people talking bad about other people, that's a sign that they're not confident in their own abilities. And I've had a lot of people do that and talk bad about me, say, you know what I mean, which is, you know what I mean. It's funny. I run a conference, but yeah. And they're talking bad, don't give your accounts to Spanky and all that. I'm like, but that's how people are. They have no way, because it's hard for them to highlight their positive skills, so they have to bring shade and negativity towards others to make themselves look brighter. So I would definitely look out for that. And if somebody does bring other people down, I'd stay far away. If they're a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too excited, I'd stay far away. And I would, there's so many different things. I've been doing this for so long that you kind of have to. It's like you gotta feel it out type thing, and so honestly, bro, just come up to me and say, "What do you think of this guy?" And I'll shoot it to you straight.
Oh, fantastic! I got a direct source here.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's the way to play.
Run it by Spanky. That's what I'm about to tell everybody. I'm gonna run you by Spanky.
There you go.
Hey,
see what they say there.
Yeah, you also got me rethinking my wardrobe for the gala, my man. You said the belle of the ball. I might need to get something a little sparklier.
You got a pretty shiny suit.
Listen. Were you guys at the Hall of Fame dinner last year?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you guys drive. Yeah, listen. I wouldn't wear that tuxedo to the speed networking event, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, listen. You come as you are, bro. Nobody's gonna care.
We're gonna show up as stepbrothers and just like sit together at the first networking in our tuxedos.
All right, let's get serious now.
Well, I want to follow up on this because I also noticed you have one of the categories for us to select for speed networking, mentors. Now, we were top-down bettors for quite a while, and started burning through some of our accounts and kind of got a little bored with top-down betting. And it was actually last year at BetBash where we met Elihu, found out about his book Beyond the Odds, and we've made it a project of ours to put his answer key into implementation for this football season. Now, this is our first time originating. This is our first time kind of getting into the mold of moving from that level 2 top-down better to that level 3 originator. And so I selected mentor pretty high on my list of people I'd be interested in talking to. Do you believe there's going to be a good group of folks who are there just happy to help share knowledge in a way that is going to enable me to learn more than I currently know as I embark on this journey?
So I know the person that always offers to be a mentor every BetBash, believe it or not, is Elihu. So don't be surprised if you get paired up with Elihu.
Well, he's our next guest. We have him as our next guest.
Hilarious.
Love it. Yeah. No, I think there's a lot of people that want that, and there are a lot of people that like to help out and give back to the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you know what I mean? You'll definitely look. You're gonna have 15 matches. You will not go 15 for nobody's batting 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for sure. I always tell people this: if you can catch just one good match on that speed networking, you paid for your ticket. That ticket, you're done. All you need is just one great contact that you maintain a relationship with. And, we've gotten 4, 5, 6 sometimes. Chinese Mike, I don't know what it is with him. He fills out the form in such a way that he winds up getting like the best connections. And me and my team, we participate in the speed networking every year. And then we always get good connections, don't get me wrong, but Chinese Mike always gets like the best ones. And we ask him, what are you putting down? How are you filling this thing out? And he goes, I don't know. I just filled it out and so he always gets paired up the best. So I strongly, if you're going to come in as a group, everybody should participate and just hope for the best. You know what I mean? That speed networking is kind of a unique thing that makes BetBash special. And I think that, just to get to a little bit of the background on why I created speed networking, we had our first BetBash in Jersey City. It was just a one-night open bar event, and there was a lot of really smart people there that weren't talking. They were introverted, and they were but they're still really smart. And I know they're smart, and they would just hold on to that same beer for 3 hours, back up against the wall, bopping their head to the music a little bit, and not going out and talking and not trying to introduce themselves. So I'm like, how do I get these guys out of their shell and force them to kind of, introduce themselves and talk to others. And that's where speed networking comes in, where it's a structured event where everybody's required to talk, introduce themselves. And I think that's kind of because, listen, the sports betting bunch, we're a unique bunch of individuals. So I think anything to kind of get everybody forward and talking to each other, I think that's always a positive. And that's how we kind of do the speed networking. It's always I think it's probably the most popular event of the whole conference.
It's fantastic. And I'm so excited to have one under my belt now.
Yeah. And I'm hopeful that after this speed networking, you don't have to post an apology on our show to the first person you meet with.
I got paired up with Rob Pizzola first, and I was so hungover, Spanky.
That's fun. You learn. That's what I love it.
Yeah. And I literally asked him if he was a professional sports bettor, because that was kind of our shtick for the whole conference.
And he looked at you like you were an idiot.
He looked at me like I was an idiot. Yeah. Shout out, Rob.
Perfect. Clip that. I love it. Rob thinks everybody knows who Rob Pizzola is. Well, you know what? Good JuJu didn't know who Rob.
Oh, I knew who he was, Spanky.
I know. I'm just saying.
Good JuJu to you, Rob.
Yeah, good JuJu.
Yeah, there's that JuJu.
Put that on the circles back.
All right, let's talk about something a little more fun here.
Circle jerk to that clip. Sorry, brother. Pizzola is our bet stamp, and I love those
Shout out
guys.
Bet
They're a
Stamp.
sponsor of ours. Shout out
Action
Bet
Network.
Stamp. No, not Action Network. Yeah, Action Network is not a sponsor of ours.
Yeah, shit.
Bet
Hammer.
Stamp and the Hammer
Network.
Hammer.
Shout out Hammer Network.
Yeah, you guys don't get those two confused, dude. Pizzola will be up in arms.
Yeah. Jesus.
But yes, shout out to Hammer Network.
Yeah, take all that out.
Keep it all in. You gotta bring the
Raw
JuJu,
and
boys. It's no cut, man.
Yeah.
Who's the editor in this shit? If you cut it, I'm gonna catch you. Oh,
right.
No, you ain't cutting. You're keeping it all in.
I have been officially told you don't cut Spanky.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Oh boy.
All right. Last year, we completely forgot about the scavenger hunt. We didn't even attempt it. This year, it appears to be a more focused event taking place at a specific time. What can you tell us about the scavenger hunt?
Okay, so 2 years ago it was a structured event. So I'm going to just tell you how the scavenger hunt worked. 2 years ago it was a structured event. Spanky, the sharp sports bettor, was wise enough to try to hold it at 9:00 in the morning, in Las Vegas. Needless to say, not as many people as we anticipated showed up. Then the next year, we decided to make it a non-structured event. As you can see, not that many people participated. So this is going to be our year. We're like, okay, we're going to give this one last shot.
Yeah.
We're going to make it a 9 p.m. nighttime hunt. We're going to put money out there. We're going to give free VIP tickets to the winners. Groups, we're going to be pairing groups up at random. Okay? Here's the other thing that pisses me off about the scavenger hunt. These two MIT guys, they've won this hunt 2 years in a row.
Oh, no.
They're from MIT. And they always win this thing. I'm not against MIT, but I do not want the same winners every year.
Right.
So we're hoping that somebody topples these guys, and if they win it again, then that's it. These guys will be the scavenger hunt champions, and there's nothing we can do about it. But it's going to be a nighttime hunt. The guy that you mentioned, David Hill, is helping design the hunt for us. With my man Manny. We got a couple of other guys that are really good at puzzles working on that. So it is going to be really immersive. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time. We're going to send you to places where you'll have to have a drink, where you're going to have a good time. It's a Thursday night in Vegas. We're not going to try to keep you locked into places. We're going to have you get out there, have a good time, and try to win some money and again, build some camaraderie and build some, it's a networking opportunity where you make friends.
Okay. Well, I'll just say this then. If you so desire to pair us with those MIT folks, you've got a good chance at a new first-time winner, and then maybe we actually have a chance.
Well, we'll show them how to do it.
Right. We will make sure those MIT guys are split up. There's these two guys, and we're going to split them up. And yes, I think Elihu was on one of their teams the first year, and I think, then the guy finished, I think, second or third or whatever. So
Yeah.
Elihu, when you talk to Elihu, he loves the scavenger hunt.
Okay.
He had a great time. The first year we did it, we made it. It's difficult. Listen, we believe that our audience is above average intelligence. So we're going to make it hard. And a lot of people complained a little bit, it's too hard. Well, listen, that's how it is. It's better for it to be too hard than too easy.
Yeah.
And that's what we want. And there are people that, were able to finish and they did a great job. So it's a challenge, but as a team, I think it'll be a great experience.
How long do you expect it to go? Like how late in the night?
I think it's going to go. It's going to start at 9ish. We're going to get everybody paired up. We're probably going to get everybody out there as early as possible, 9:30, 10, and we're looking to go a few hours. You know what I mean? But the good news is that the next morning we don't start till 10 a.m.
Yeah.
For our panels. So
late night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry about, yes.
You've got me much more interested than I thought I would be about this. Now I'm intrigued.
Do you know the prize? Can you tell us what the prize is?
Yeah, we're giving away $10,000 in prizes. We're giving away free VI forever. So 10,000 to be split amongst the team. I don't want people thinking I'm on a team of 10 people and we're each getting 10 grand. No, you could have your team, whatever. I think this team's of 5 or 6 people. And then each person is also going to have a VIP ticket to next year's BetBash.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is over $1,000 of value.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be an exciting time. And hopefully everybody, we get a lot of participants. And these guys have been working hard on it. I'm in a group chat with them. And dude, it looks pretty fun, man. It's complex and fun, and it's going to be a fun time. So that's just another thing. And again, if you want to play, great. If you don't, that's okay too.
Yeah,
it's that's a beautiful thing about BetBash. If you want to skip a seminar, if you don't want to go to this panel, if you want to, by all means, it's up to you.
All right, so Thursday afternoon, I'm gonna have to stay sharp.
Well, the other thing that I'll give you kudos to, Spanky, is when you're coming out for your conference was the least amount of casino gambling I actually did when I've ever been to Vegas. So the fact that you give us all these other activities to sort of take our minds off saves me a little bit of money on my actual trip out to Vegas most of the time.
Love it.
All right.
Beautiful. And I love that. That's great. That's great news. I hope the circuit doesn't hear that because they want everybody gambling. No, the circuit doesn't. They're happy with it.
Speaking of gambling.
Right. Will you be hitting the tables while you're out in Vegas, do you expect?
So listen, there's a late night craps game that always takes place every night. I know Chinese Mike is always there. I've taken definitely a part in it over the years. Will I be around? Listen, anything could happen. It all depends on how I'm feeling or whatever. But I always, I enjoy having, playing blackjack, rolling some dice, or whatever these guys want to do. It's always a good time. So yeah, we'll definitely, if there's a good dice game going, we always have a great time doing that.
All right, so we got to find Chinese Mike.
Yeah, we got to find out about this late night crap session.
Right on. All right, is that that's on the Scavenger Hunt, I assume. Go find Chinese Mike.
Chinese Mike at the craps table.
So that was the first Scavenger Hunt, was find Chinese Mike, believe it or not.
Oh my God, was it really?
Yeah, you didn't know. I thought you guys knew. So the first scavenger hunt we did 2 years ago was you're trying to work for my crew, and you have to place a bet at a certain sports book on a certain team for a certain amount, and you have to turn in the ticket to Chinese Mike, who is hiding somewhere in downtown Las Vegas.
My God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, we changed the theme this year. This year, I don't know what we're going to announce it, but there's a type of you got to go meet some type of a pick seller. A fake pick seller that's or something. I don't know, man. It's a crazy theme.
I can't wait.
I don't want to ruin it because I don't want to announce it now. But once these guys kind of finalize it, it's going to be cool.
All right, fantastic.
Okay, shifting gears a little bit here. As I had mentioned, we're starting to get into origination, so this topic's come a little bit top of mind for us. But you offer a service, SpotOdds. Can you give us a brief overview of SpotOdds for us?
So SpotOdds is an odds dissemination software formerly known as SpankOdds, now called SpotOdds. It's an odds dissemination software where you're able to track in real time different lines from different sports books all over the world, both regulated, non-regulated, domestic, foreign, international, first half, second halves, all different periods, quarters, props, etc., etc. You're able to look at line history, limit changes. You're able to set your own tool, set different tools on line move alerts, line seeker alerts, opener alerts, etc. It's a tool that's that's used by pretty much every major sports book that's booking U.S. sports in the world. It's used by every major sports bettor, such as Billy Walters, Billy Baxter, and my whole office uses it, obviously. And so many different betting groups use our product. It's an elite product, and we have 2 different tiers. One of them is for the real-time access. Another one, which is a lot cheaper, is for a 2-minute delayed access. But yeah, we're going to actually have a seminar at BetBash on how to utilize SpotOdds and how to take advantage of it and try to find different ways to earn using SpotOdds. So if anybody has any interest in that or wants to learn more about SpotOdds, we'll also have a booth about SpotOdds, but we'll have a seminar as well.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Okay. Now, we received a question on Twitter from the Taxman at Taxman CPA MST. He asked, how did you settle on the name SpotOdds, and were there any other contenders?
So we had to do something, as I said, the Spank odds, corporate, future corporate sponsors don't really want to partner up with a company that has a girl with minus 110 on her ass telling me to spank me.
the soundbite was fantastic.
Well, the soundbite still remains.
Oh, good.
If you log into SpotOdds, it says "Welcome to SpotOdds," but to pay homage to Spank odds, we still have that spank.
Oh, great.
There, yeah. So the spank remains just because we don't want to get rid of that. But yeah, did we have any contenders? We had to think of something that begins with SP to make people know that, listen, it's still the same product, it's just a different name. We were thinking about spy odds, but then somebody brought up a good point thinking, oh my God, nobody's going to install that thing on their computer. They'll think it's spyware. So that wasn't going to happen. So we just said, what else is there? And we just said, let's just go with SpotOdds.
Yeah.
The logo now is a magnifying glass with a minus 110 in it where you're trying to spot the odds. Nice PG rating, and it kind of, it's still, even though you could still spank those odds in your own time, we would prefer at this point that you spot those odds.
Got it. Love it. All right. Before we let you go, Spanky, we'd be remiss to not get your opinion on the latest legislation impacting both sports and casino gamblers. Contained within the latest federal legislation is a bill that restricts claiming of gambling losses to 90% of gambling wins. What's your take on this, and do you expect it'll get overturned?
I 100% expect it'll get overturned. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I think it'll definitely happen. I think, this just doesn't affect professional gamblers, it affects all gamblers. Listen, we all gamble in a casino. Imagine breaking even over the course of a year in a casino and getting a tax bill at the end of the year. You'd be up in arms. What am I paying taxes on? I didn't win any money. How are you trying to, that's like, it's legalized extortion. It's tyranny, whatever you want to call it. I think the government, is going to say, hey, wait a minute, we're kind of overstepped the line here, overstepped our boundaries. It's crazy how this legislation has passed. So many Republican and Democratic senators and Congress people have came out and said, we didn't even realize this thing was in the bill. So how are you then signing off on this stuff and voting on it if you don't know what the hell's in it? Maybe try reading some of it. But yeah, these things, when something's 900 pages long, you know what I mean? It's just it slips through the cracks, and that's unfortunate. But I think that these things will get rectified. I think the gambling industry, it's one of those topics that the entire gambling industry, both operator, both consumer, both the AGA, and everybody in between says this is not fair. This is not what taxation should be about. It's, there's countries that don't even tax people on gambling winnings,
right?
Like the UK and Australia. Here we got to pay tax on gambling winnings, but can we please make sure they're winnings and not just phantom income that nobody earned to? So that's, I think it's common sense, and I believe in my country, and I believe that that will, it's going to definitely get rectified. Not sure when, but I think it'll ultimately get rectified.
Okay, that's good information, and that's makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And what is it? It's Bettor's Voice? That's the organization that represents the gambler, correct?
Well, the American Bettors Voice, yes, that's our nonprofit, bettorsvoice.com. donations are appreciated to help us keep spreading that voice around and trying to get in the ears of legislators and regulators. And yeah, you know what I mean. It's a beautiful thing. You know, I go to all these different conferences. I was just at NAGRA, the North American Gaming Regulators Association, back in June. I was just at Nickel G's a couple of weeks ago, the National Council of Legislators for Gaming States in July. And I talk to legislators, regulators all the time, and we're trying to make sure that we have our voice as the sports bettor at the table whenever any of these regulations or any new legislation gets passed or amended. We kind of want to be there and give our opinion. And then, you know, how it's the best way to govern is to hear both sides, not just from the operators, but both hear it from the operators and the actual consumers. And that's what we're all about at American Bettor's Voice.
That's awesome. I got to meet, I believe Richard
Schuetz, our CEO.
Yeah,
Richard Schuetz is one of the best guys I've met in my life. He's an incredible person, incredible man, and it's an honor to be paired up with him at American Bettor's Voice. And with his leadership, we're definitely going to try to make an impact. It's going to be slow. It's definitely slow, but it's going to be sure. We're not going to stop.
Great. Well, I got the opportunity to talk to him last year at BetBash, and yeah, I can only echo everything you just said about him. Yep. Wonderful guy. Absolutely. All right. Last question here before we let you go. Any final tips, piece of advice, anything else you want to share about BetBash that we didn't get a chance to cover?
Well, I kind of, you know, those throat lozenges, I'm going to repeat that. But listen, you know, I think RJ said I was hammered the night before. The speed networking happens on a Wednesday. The first night of BetBash is Tuesday. That open bar, man, is so alluring. It's so addicting. And you just got to just take it slow and nice and easy. You know what I mean? The VIP party at the Legacy Club is the night to go balls to the wall because that's when everybody's dressed up. We're up there at the Legacy Club. We're going to be the Hall of Famers. The newly inducted Hall of Famers are going to be there. Past Hall of Famers are going to be there. So that's the time in which we're really going to, you know, that's the time I just don't hold back because that's the end of BetBash. So I don't give a shit about what happens the next day. I'm living like that's the last day. But all the other nights, you got to take it easy. And to get the most out of the conference, I believe you got to just take it nice and slow. Have a good time, guys. But you know, everything's going to be rocking and rolling the next day. So just, you know, nice and easy. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Do as he says, not as he does. That's piece of advice I can give.
Exactly, because every day I say this, and I'm speaking from the heart, but I too also do the same thing every night, and I get crazy, and it just I can't help myself because I'm happy and everybody's saying, "Hey, what's up?" It's tough, man. You know what I mean? It's hard.
We will never forget walking into that open bar the first night, and the first thing we hear is Spanky looking at us going, "Good JuJu, slap a sticker on my belly."
God, no wonder you got hammered.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the dude, man. When I'm in the moment, I just can't stop it. So yeah, listen. Forget everything I said. Do whatever the hell you want. Have a good time. Who gives a shit? That's what it's all about.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, man. I say the same for you when somebody asks me for my advice. I don't even follow my own advice. So what can I say, guys? Just have a great time, man. Leave it all out there.
All right.
I am sure we will. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today, Spanky. Folks, if you want to learn more about BetBash, then check out all the details at betbash.co. To learn more about SpotOdds, head on over to spotodds.com for all the details. Lastly, for more wisdom from the man himself, Spanky can be found on Twitter under his name @Spanky. That's going to do it for us this week. Good juju to your bets, everyone, and we'll talk again soon.